All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders, great millstone, who teach very well. Want to let this truth from and salutation out there to the hopeful elect who continue to push this word in our truth, faith, and sincerity. And also shalom to all the men, women, and children who sincerely believe upon the words of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. And today, man, just basically getting on how vain this society is. Because ultimately, all the works that are in this place will be burnt up. It will be wiped away. You know, just like in the time of the flood, there's no remnants or buildings left, or any key signs of who's in rulership in that time. Guess what? It's going to be the same thing here, man. You know? So, the glory of LeBron James, the glory of being a hip hop rapper, or the glory of even being a successful businessman. I got a successful black businesses in America. All those things is going to die away, man. Because ultimately, this kingdom is just a stepping stone to the perfection of the kingdom ahead. We're living in the worst situation ever just so we can appreciate the best situation ever, man. Because the kingdom of heaven is going to totally outweigh this wicked society. So let's go ahead and start right here in 2 Peter 3 and verse 10. It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise." Now that heavens right there is not talking about where your grandma dwell at. No, those heavens is really talking about the rulership. And it says, shall pass away with a great noise. That's the ICBM nuclear missiles being upon the scene. Let's continue on. "And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up." Yes, it says the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Now we know that the earth dwelleth forever, but it says the works. Let's get this word works. Works, business, employment, that which one any is occupied. In America is nothing but a big corporation. But again, the place where people exalt themselves, got a good job, they ain't gonna matter in the kingdom of heaven. Even though we being wise men, for the lack of better words, we get our daily bread, wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. We don't carry ourselves carelessly. But at the same time, we know that all these things is nothing but a simulation of wickedness. Let's continue on. It says, an act, deed, thing done, the ideal of working, emphasizing opposition to that which is less than work. So again, it says by implication, deed, act, labor, work. So the works of the wicked, the works of Esau, whether it be in the form of the Simpsons, South Park, the entertainment industry, all those things is going to get burned up. And ultimately, it's going to pave the way for the kingdom of heaven. Continuing on, "Seeing then all these things shall be dissolved." Let's get that word dissolve. That word dissolve. Hold on. Yep. Please bear with me. Yep, it says to dissolve something coherent into parts, to destroy, to lose that which is complete or built together, to break up, demolish, destroy, to declare unlawful, to do away with, to deprive from authority. And that's what the Lord is doing, man. He's going to take away the kingdom from Esau and give it into the nation of Israel, man. And we're going to truly show you how it is to rule in righteousness. The plant's going to be in order. The grass is going to be greener. For the lack of better words, the air is going to be fresher. And it's going to be a total different thing than the things that we witness here on this side, man. The food, you're going to actually taste the food. The liquor is not going to have sulfates in it. Your skin not going to break out from taking a hot shower. All these different things is the things that you suffer in America. But us being raised here in the West, if you're not tapped into the Holy Spirit, it will be normal unto you, man. Go ahead and continue on. Metaphor, to overthrow, to do away with. So again, the Lord, he's finna get ready to do away with these things that happen here on this side of the planet Earth, the Western Hemisphere. Let's continue on. It says, "Sing then that all these things shall be dissolved." We just looked up that word dissolve. We just went back into it, to do away with. What manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Yes, man. And that's how we know that, putting your stock into this place is vain. We putting our stock into the heavens. Let's get another one. Let's go right here to the book of Colossians. This is the book of Colossians 3, and let's start at verse 1. And it says right here, put on the new self. Because again, yes, we was raised in Babylon, but that new self, or when you go into that word new, renew, refresh, once you refreshed in the Holy Spirit, you can see that this place is really abnormal. They got GMO foods. Your food's got a whole bunch of chemicals in it. It was a joke a guy said, it is bleach made with real lemon, and its juices with artificial lemon in it. That's ass backwards, man. But at the same time, the Wadi Shai for waking us up. Let's go ahead and get this in Colossians 3 and 1. If you then be risen with the Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, seek those things which are above, where a Mashiach sitteth on the right hand of the Father, the Most High. So basically, it's going into, having rulership, because that's one thing we seek, but also, being perfect in the eyes of Yahweh Shai, man. Because you got to realize, man, once this kingdom get done away with, the Lord's going to give us new bodies, man. Continuing on, it says, set your affection on things above, not things on earth. And why? Because these things will be dissolved. And we looked up that definition for dissolve. It actually means what? To do away with. And how he's going to do away with this thing through the ICBM nuclear missiles, So it's vain really to put your stock in this place. Let's go ahead and get this real quick. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 2. And I'm going to get to the point. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 2. And I'm going to start at verse 15. Yep. It says, then said I in my heart, as it happened to the fool, so it happened even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart, this is also is vanity. For there is no remembrance of the wise. Yes, because ultimately here in this society, on this side, they're not going to remember, they barely remember Dave. They barely remember Yahweh Shai, man. We're the one that's bringing back their spirit. Even the wise men that's not written about, people don't even know about Obadiah like that, but it was even more men. Let's go ahead and continue on. It says, for there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever, seeing that which is now in the days to come shall be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man as the fool? Yep, because ultimately, again, you're going to pass away on this side, but ultimately, in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to live forever. But let's go ahead and continue on to the point. Therefore, I hated life. Why? Because we just passing by, man. And ultimately, all these things, our righteous, that's why we try to be righteous in the midst of wickedness. But even all these people living and up in this wicked society is really vain. Because ultimately, their end goal is going to be death, man. Read this again. Therefore, I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me. Yes. You got to drink artificial flavoring. It's moles walking everywhere. Aluminum and barium is in the air. All these different things should be grievous until you scroll on social media. You're vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. Who want to scroll on social media 25, 50 years later, man? Because that's what this place is going to, man. Going into this digital system. Niggas, people don't even go outside no more. Everybody is overweight, health problems, crazy, bugged out their mind, influenced by social media. Like the world owe you something because you got 1 million followers. That's not going to mean nothing, especially in the time of Jacob's trouble. Let's go ahead and finish this off. It says, "For all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Yeah, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me." Yes, because even guys who do have a great legacy. I was watching this guy, Shannon Sharp, and this guy, Connor, I forgot the first name, but the MMA fighter, and they made a bad point. They was like, yeah, LeBron James, yeah, he was a once in a generational talent. Bronny is not going to be like him. And even Magic Johnson was one of the best point guards, they ever played in the league. But at the same time, look at his seed. He left his genetics to his seed, and look at the result of him. Just showing you that you should hate this place, because who would want their son to end up like that? You know why? Why is there a possibility, outcome of being a grown up here in Babylon, man? And again, that's why this place have to be overthrown, and Esau ultimately have to, lose his rulership, so righteousness can flourish throughout the planet Earth, man. You know. So yeah, I pray this video was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to my apostle elders.